Hello everyone, and welcome to my channel. We did so much this week, and I am very excited to get to share much of what we did with you. Hi, my name is Sonia. I'm a homeschooling, homesteading, spirit-filled, Torah-keeping mother of 10, and you are watching IHN Homestead. Colossians 3:23 states, "And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men." So I try really hard as a mom to stay on task, to be focused and purposeful in my days, and yet I still have the tendency to overlook things. For example, our furniture. I did not realize how absolutely dirty it had become from a bunch of dirty hands and feet and accidental spills. So I went to Walmart and purchased this little Bissell cleaner. We call it the Little Mean Green Machine. And we decided we were going to have our hand at getting this clean. You can see Peter in the background. He has a towel on the couch and he's trying to dry off the couch. I guess it works, but hey. So we began by treating the furniture first with some spray cleaner and baking soda. And the kids got to have fun and they rubbed it all into the furniture. What I was trying to do was break up as much dirt and oil and grime in the furniture as possible. Even Norman decided that he had to help out too. And I thought if I could do this and pre-treat it, hopefully it would break up a lot of the stains and a lot of that dirt and stuff and make it easier to clean and get out. And I was really impressed with this thing. It had really great power. It was bringing up so much dirt. I was completely embarrassed showing you guys this. But hey, it's life with a large family. But I was very happy with the results. And once it dried, I was able to see a lot of areas that I either missed or, didn't get to. But I would give this little guy an A+ rating. And no, I have no affiliates with it. It was just something I saw at Walmart. I thought I'd give it a try. I wanted something that wouldn't take a whole lot of time, but with how dirty my furniture was, it still took me quite a bit of time to get this done. But again, I'm very happy with the results, and my furniture is clean. That's great, right? So do you guys remember a few videos back when my husband was 30 feet in a tree attempting to catch a swarm of bees? Well, just about 2 weeks ago, we began seeing multiple bees beginning to swarm outside the hive that we put them in. And they were doing this during a period when the temperatures here in Ohio were in the 90s, the heat index was in the hundreds, and the humidity was through the roof. Everything was hot and sticky and miserable. And as a result, I thought the bees were swarming outside the hive were just, I think it's called bearding. And bearding is what bees will do to help regulate the temperature of the inside of the hive, almost as though they're fanning their hive. But no, I was wrong. They were swarming because they were splitting. Luckily, the bees that split settled in a nearby tree, making it much easier for us to catch them this time. So as you saw, my husband was up there and he was scooping all the bees into this little box here. And right now he's trying to see if he can't find the queen, and he's looking for the queen, hoping that he got her. And I don't know if you guys can see it, but there are bees swarming everywhere. So the hive there on the left on that bench was the original bee box that we had put the bees in, and they filled that in no time. It must be just a very strong, strong bees is all I can say. But looking at the amount of bees that were up in the tree and that's already in this little box here was absolutely astounding. I couldn't believe how quickly the bees multiplied. And you can see inside that box, it's black. It is covered in bees, and all these inserts are all covered in bees. I mean, look at all those. They're everywhere. And again, like I said, he's just looking to see if he could find the queen, to make sure that he got the queen. He did eventually go back up in the tree and scoop some more bees into that box because, like I said, there was a lot of them. There was a lot of them. And brought it back down. And then he ended up taking that box and just setting it on top of the hive and just really nicely dumping the rest of the bees into the box. And it worked out great. I mean, the bees weren't very happy, but it worked out great. We got the area cleaned up, got the bees all settled in, and they are doing wonderful. We just checked it not that long ago, and the top was stuck on from all the comb and everything that they've already produced inside that hive. Okay, guys, so I am back to my water kefir. And guess what? I think it worked this time. I went ahead and tasted it after a few days, and it was no longer sweet, and it had just a little bit of a spiky aftertaste going down. So I was pretty excited, and I decided, okay, I'm going to give it a shot and see what I can get out of it. But just as a background, so water kefir is it's great for you. It contains high amounts of probiotics. It's known to improve your gut health, to help enhance your immune function, and it can also help you support like weight management. Water kefir does have a very small alcohol content between, like they say, 0.02% and 0.5%. According to research, it's the same amount of alcohol content found in other fermented foods such as yogurt and kombucha, and it is very safe for consumption. They also recommend that you give it to children as it contains a lot of beneficial bacteria and yeast, because it's also a great alternative to sugary drinks and pops and things like that. And so I know a lot of kids, during the summer, oh, let's go get a pop, but that stuff is so dehydrating to the body, and it just has way too much sugar in it. It's just not good for children overall. And I have found that my kids really enjoy the water kefir. It has that same sparkly effect, but it also tastes pretty darn great. So what I did was I started draining everything off and separating my water kefir grains. And I have this pineapple here that I'm going to get cut up and diced up. And I'm going to separate this pineapple between 2 clean half-gallon jars. Now, I think maybe next time when I do this, I might do an entire pineapple for 1 jar. I don't know. But it might be worth a shot, or maybe do pineapple with mango, kind of switch it up a little bit just to play with the flavors and see what I can't come up with. But so that's what I did. I cut this pineapple up, split it between the 2 jars, and then I poured strained the water kefir over the jars, and I'm going to let these set for another couple of days. And then I'll eventually put them in the refrigerator as well and let them continue fermenting in the refrigerator. And when it's all done, we'll get them back out and we'll try them and see what we came out with. So the first 2 jars here just have the pineapple in it. But then later on, the other 2 jars that are over there by the wall, I'm going to strain those out as well. And I had a bottle of juice that I had gotten. I think it was kind of like a V8 Splash kind of a juice. It had, again, the pineapple and the mango and a couple other fruit juices. So I thought, well, I'll try flavoring it with the fruit itself. But then I also decided to try and flavor it with juice just to see the difference in the results and the ferment and how it would all come together and how it would taste, and also to see kind of what my children would prefer, one or the other. I would prefer to do it with the fruit, so I'm going to keep trying that. But I do have a feeling I'm going to have to add more fruit than what I did originally when making this kefir. But anyways, I feel as though it turned out great, and I was really happy with the results. And I'll show you the results here in just a minute. So now I'm going to go ahead and get another batch going. This time I'm just using molasses only. I'm thinking this might be the last time I use the molasses. I think I'm going to try and go back to just the organic cane sugar from here on out. But like I said earlier in another video, I was trying to reboost the minerals in my water kefir grains, and the molasses did work to do that. So I'm going to give them the molasses, I think, one more time and go back to the sugar for the next batch. And we'll just see how things go. And it'll be a learning process, but everything is, you got to figure out what works best. All right, here we are a few days later. These have been sitting in my refrigerator for at least 3 days, if I remember correctly. And I always like to listen to them. Are they fizzy? How do they smell? And I was getting kind of excited because they smelt pretty good. So I went ahead and got these stirred up, and I got a little cup. And we're going to take a gander and taste these and see if we should let them ferment a little bit longer or if they are ready to go. All right, drum roll, please. Dun, da, da, da. Yep, they were pretty good. I was pretty happy with them. They weren't too bad. Now this one was, as you can see, this one was the one with the pineapple chunks. Mary wasn't too impressed with this one, but it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad. Now we're going to go ahead and try the one that we flavored with the juice. Again, listen for the fizz, take a smell. Smells really good. Let's give it a shot. And I think this one was one of the favorites. It wasn't very sweet. It still had the little bit of that spiky aftertaste, but the flavor was really good, and it was Mary approved. And then here comes Peter and Emily. Peter and Emily are back there. They're all wanting to try some as well. Again, if I can find something healthy that my kids will drink, that will keep them hydrated, that will help boost their immune system, will help with their stomachs, you guys, I am all for it. And so this is the batch here that I had done just to see if it was ready to go, if it was fermented, and it was not ready yet. It wasn't sweet really anymore, but it still needed a couple days on the counter to finish fermenting. So we didn't do anything with this next set of water kefir. Like I said, we're going to let that set for just a smidge longer. Now, this is something new. This is a fruit kvass. I remember reading a discussion where people were arguing whether or not to call this fruit kvass or not, because kvass is commonly, it's a traditional fermented, it's a Slavic or Baltic beverage. It's commonly made from rye bread, though people have begun making variations of it, and some use red beets and make a beet kvass, and other people just use fruit and make a fruit kvass. And I just used fruit this time, and this one has watermelon in it, and it also has pineapple in it. And I just put a whole bunch in a jar, poured about a cup of sugar on top because the sugar helps to speed up the fermentation process. And then I filled it with water, and then I put a lid on it and I let it sit on the counter for about 5 days. And then from there, I transferred it to my refrigerator and let it finish doing a slow ferment in the refrigerator. And you do have to pop the lid and let the air out every once in a while. You start seeing bubbles forming. Go ahead and crack that lid so no explosions happen. But this right here is also a great probiotic. It is also great for children. It's just another thing to go along with the water kefir. I was a bit nervous because I've never made this before. I remember trying to make it with red beets a couple years ago and it tasted terrible. But this one was surprisingly great. It was nice and spiky, but it had a wonderful flavor, and it was definitely Mary approved. She really enjoyed it. Actually, the majority of my kids, this was their favorite above the water kefir, and this one was a lot easier to make. However, I'm not giving up on the water kefir. We're going to keep going with that one. But this is also, like I said, it's easy to make. It doesn't take that long, and it is a great drink to have. And during the hot summer, it just tastes delicious. Now, I am straining off those other water kefirs that I made, you know, the one with pineapple and stuff in it. And I'm going to go ahead and get those all bottled up and put in the refrigerator to let them chill. I enjoy drinking my water kefir nice and cold. I think it just tastes better that way. So, funny story. When I was at the farmer's market, the Amish that were set up there, they're the Schwartz family. I've known them for many, many years because I used to do the farmer's market when my older children were younger. And they had this giant Walmart bag full of peas. And I thought, oh, sugar snap peas, what a great snack. We can snack on these. No. These were the peas that you had to break open and shell and do all the work with. And I had forgotten all about them. And so I was like, we need to get these out. So we got them out. You guys, it took forever to do this. And now I know why not a lot of people grow peas, because this is a long process to get very small amount of peas. But we had a great time doing it. And in the end, Mary and I began racing to see who could finish their pile first. Mary beat me, but in my defense, my pile was bigger. Yes, it was bigger, I promise. But anyways, we ended up with about 8 cups worth of peas from that big old stuffed plastic Walmart bag. And I didn't take the time to can these or anything like that. We just cooked them up and ate them with stir fry for dinner the one night, and it was great. We enjoyed it. I received a text message from pastor friends of ours letting me know that the local airport was about to receive a plane that was once flown during the Cold War from the United States. It would drop off supplies to Berlin. And I thought, oh, that would be a really great piece of history for the children to see. And as you could see in that one picture, there was other cars aligning the road, all parked out and ready to watch this big old plane land in our little airport, our little community airport. So I took the kids down. We parked alongside of the road. We got out into the field. And yes, we are a lot further away than what it looks like. There's actually a house that that is right along the runway to this airport. I kind of find it hilarious. But anyways, we went ahead and we went out and we got to watch this big old plane land at our local airport. And it was really neat. This plane was big and it was loud, and the boys just had a blast watching this plane land. And when we got back in the bus and we were driving past the airport, we realized, wow, there's a lot of cars at the airport. So we decided to turn in and see what all the commotion was. Here, this plane was landing at our local airport because it was going to pick up a load of Dum Dum suckers from the Spangler Candy Company, and was going to eventually fly them all the way over to Angola, Indiana. And they stopped right here, and they all got out, and they allowed people to talk to them and ask questions about the aircraft. And they even allowed the children and the families to go inside and tour the aircraft. And I'm really excited to get to show you guys all the things that we got to see as we ended our week this week. So I really hope you enjoy this.
Handy, so we thought, well, gee, why don't we stop by since it's on the way and just meet these folks and let them see what we do.
Thank you. Yeah, we appreciate it. How much candy are you picking up?
Now, we're not supposed to be allowing people to use those stairs, but if you want to use those stairs and take a look at the airplane, you're welcome to do so.
For real?
Yes, for real.
How much candy are you picking up?
I don't know.
Oh.
I'm just a dumb driver.
Dum dum.
To say, we departed Waynesburg, Pennsylvania. It was to be an hour and a half flight. It took an hour and 38. The weather there was pretty bad this morning, but it was moving away. And you folks, I think, had some weather earlier, and it was moving away. So the trip was very nice once we got out of that area.
Nice.
Took an hour 38 to get here.
Okay.
This airplane was built in 1943. I was built in 1944. I've been flying this for 30 years.
Wow.
So I'm just delighted to be here.
Thank you.
Personal log of how many missions I've been on with this airplane in the past 30 years, and this is mission 656.
Cool.
Past how many years?
30. So I don't know where I'm at.
How old were you when you started?
Oh my gosh,
Right after the Civil War. Are we going to have guests on board?
Yeah.
Do you want me to take off the covers for the exhibits?
I was so happy that they said we got to tour the aircraft. Come to find out, this is what they would call a flying museum. And they do. They go across the United States and they park this plane and they open it up to the public for people to see. And it was really neat. And it was actually a lot of fun climbing up these stairs too. Of course, the little ones think it was great. And you got the gentleman down here and the gentleman up top. And none of my little girls were wanting help from these gentlemen, but they were right there. You could see the whole line of people. They were all waiting to have a chance to look inside this aircraft. And the things that we got to see were pretty interesting. Yeah, they have it set up just like a museum. Not all the exhibits got uncovered in time because it started to rain. So they just thought, go ahead and start letting the people on. That way people could get in and out and continue on with their day.
Ta-da! Now, who can tell me what he's wearing? What do you think he's wearing? Say again? A parachute. Excellent. Very good. Okay, now why would a dog have a parachute? In case something goes wrong with the plane. He's the only dog to ever have his own parachute. And he had the parachute custom made for him so he could fly with his master. And if you over here, 451 times he flew. So if you think of each day as being one of those times he flew, that means he flew for over a year and 3 months. There's not many pilots who've flown that much.
Well, everyone, that is it for this week's video. I really hope you enjoyed the time you got to spend with my family. Remember, Colossians 3:23 states, "And whatsoever ye do, do it heartily, as to the Lord, and not unto men." Thank you, and God bless. See you next time.